Howdy, how's it going? It's your boy Tans. Move back here with another video. Today I am going to be going over my college football top 25 week 6 poll. As you see here, starting off the bat, you already see some of them. So I will be going over this with you and kind of giving my reasoning why I think so. So at number one, I've obviously got Alabama. They came off of a nice win there against Arkansas. They kind of blew them away there towards the end. I know it was a game for a little while, but then it kind of just became a kind of a slaughter fest. So Alabama 49, Arkansas 26. Alabama ends up getting the win in that one, so I've got them at number one there. At number two, I've got Ohio State coming in at number two. I feel like they were a good team today. They beat Rutgers 49-10. They're currently 5-0, so I've got them setting at the number two spot. At number three, I've got Georgia. I bumped them from number one all the way down to number three there. I feel like they're still undefeated and everything. They still have had great moments this season, but I just feel like that with the Samford struggle last week and then the Missouri struggle this week, I just feel like that they're not the number one team. I could see people possibly still putting them at number two, but then what do you do with Ohio State, who had a blowout win? Yeah, it was against an unranked team, but I still don't believe that they just deserve to sit at number three, right? Georgia struggled, and you shouldn't be the number one team in the nation, or even number two, and struggling to beat an unranked 2-2 team. It just shouldn't be happening. So I've got Georgia at number three for that reason. At number four, I've got Clemson. Clemson played all right today. They played NC State. They didn't blow me away with the way that they played. It was a pretty close game for the most part. So it was 30-10 was the final score. Now NC State was number 10. So I get that. So I have bumped Clemson up number one spot. They were number 5 before that, so I bumped them up one spot. And yeah, I mean I think it was a good win for them. I just feel like that if it was a little bit more, then I still wouldn't have put them at number 3 because I wouldn't have bumped Georgia all the way down to number 4 because they did win the game. It's just that they let it get too close, right? And in the NFL, a win is a win. In college football, a win is not a win. At least not to me and many other people, really. So you think about it this way, right? So in the NFL, you win a close game. It's a win. At the end of the day, all that matters is how many wins you got in your record. College football, I mean, some people might think the same thing, but not really, because in the NFL, anyone can win on any given day. Obviously, that can happen in college football too. But you also have teams in college football like James Madison and Troy and Western Kentucky and stuff like that. You don't want the number 1 or number 2 or number 3 in the team in the country struggling to beat a team like that, right? Or even a top 10 team. You don't want them struggling to beat a team like that, or else why are they in the top 10, right? So to me, a win is not a win. So the win last week over Stanford that Georgia had was it never was it never created doubt. Like, it never made you think, oh, well, Georgia's gonna lose this game. It never made you think that at all. But it was still 22 points. You allow 22 points after you've had a stellar defense last season, a stellar defense up until that point this season, and then for you to allow 22 points by a Stanford team on your home turf, it's just not something that the number 1 team in the nation should be doing. So I got them at number 3. I wouldn't bump them down to number 4. So Clemson stays at number 4. They were number 5 before. They jump up to number 4 in my poll, and after their win over NC State. Then I've got Michigan sitting in at number 5. They were number 4. I actually, you could do it either way. I think if you have any of these 5 teams, these top 5 teams that I have, Michigan, Clemson, Georgia, Ohio State, Alabama, any of those 5 teams, I feel like all of those teams are worthy to be in the top 5. So, I mean, you wouldn't rank them. Obviously, I don't think Michigan is number 1 or anything like that. But any way that you kind of want to rank the top 3, it's fine with me. If you want to put Georgia at number one, cool. If you want to put Ohio State at number one, cool. If you want to put Alabama at number one, cool. Any of those three teams, I think, deserve to be number one. The only problem that I have with Georgia being number one is their struggle wins. At the end of the day, I guess if you still consider a win, um, then at the end of the day, Georgia's still winning. But it's still not something that it's not games that they should be winning those games by like 30 points, 40 points. They should have blown Missouri out by 20, 28 points, 30 points, whatever. They shouldn't have had to struggle to beat them in the fourth quarter. But any of these top five, if you have these in your top five, then I think it's pretty accurate, right? So you have Michigan at number five. I've bumped them down from number four. Um, you could leave them at number four and then leave Clemson at number five. That's fine. Either way really works. But the way I've done it, I think that Clemson's win over a top 10 team, because I'm doing it by most impressive, right? So which team has the most impressive win? That's really how the top 10 has to go here. Because if you look, or the top really 8 or 9, because if you look, the top 8 or 9 teams here are all undefeated. Utah has one defeat, that's it. But most of the teams here in the top 9, in the top 10, are undefeated, right? So you have to kind of go based off of which win is more impressive. So do you think that Clemson's win over the top 10 team in the nation, which was NC State, do you think that win is more impressive than Michigan's win over, let's see who they played here. Michigan's win over Iowa. So they won 27-14 over Iowa, an unranked team, and Iowa's also 3-2 now. They were 3-1 before that. So I think that Clemson's win over NC State, which at the time was an undefeated team, I think that win is more impressive than Michigan's game over Iowa. They won 27-14, 13-point win. So I think that Clemson's win is more impressive. That's why I've got them at number 4 instead of number 5. And that's why I've bumped Michigan down one spot, number 5. Southern California, UCS. I believe they're still playing right now, actually. So let's see what they're doing here. I know that they're still playing though. Yeah, so they're still playing. It's a 28-17 ball game as it stands. Obviously, if they lose that game, which they're winning right now, but obviously if they lose that game, my rankings might change a little bit. I can tell you right now, I'd probably put Tennessee at number 6, and I'd probably maybe put Oklahoma State at number 7 and bump Southern California down. I mean, they are playing Arizona State, so it's an unranked team, so I don't really know how far I'd bump them down. I'd probably bump them down to at least 10 or 11 if they were to lose this game. However, it doesn't really look like they're going to lose this game, so I will. They would probably stay at number 6 in my poll if they were to win this game, depending on how much it's by and stuff. But as of right now, I've got them staying at number 6. Really, the top 7 or 8 teams here are really gridlock. In my opinion, I've got number 7, Tennessee. So Tennessee is currently on a bye week this week, so they didn't play anyone. So I've just got them. The only reason I've got them bumping up is because Kentucky lost to Ole Miss. If Kentucky would have won that game, then Tennessee would have stayed at number 8, where they were before. But since Kentucky lost and they're bumped down a little bit, I've got Tennessee at number 7, bumping up one spot there. Oklahoma State. I've got them currently at number 8. Let's see. They had a good win. I believe it was over. Let's see if I can find it here. Okay, yeah. So they were number 9. They had a good win over the number 16 team, Baylor. They beat them by 11 points. So I bumped them up one spot. Ole Miss, they had a good win over Kentucky. They were number 14 previously. I got them coming in at number 9. They were undefeated. They are 5-0. So I've got them coming in at number 9. Utah, I've got coming in at number 10. Kentucky, they lost to Ole Miss, obviously, so I've got them bumping down from number 7 to number 11. I've got Penn State coming in at number 12. Oregon coming in at number 13. NC State coming in at number 14. Now, NC State was number 10. They did lose to the number 5 team in the nation. I didn't feel like that one loss was enough to bump them down really any more than this. Really, the 13 or 14 mark is kind of where I'm comfortable with. I left Oregon at number 13, so I put NC State at number 14 there because Oregon did win. And it kind of gets gridlock up here at the top, and I really didn't want to it's not fair to bump Oregon down. They won this week, so I kind of bumped NC State down, number 14 instead. BYU I got at number 15. Wake Forest had a good win over Florida State. I got them bumped up number 16. I got Baylor at 17. Texas A&M. Texas A&M has had a bad few weeks here, and they go in and play Alabama next week, so they're really gonna have to get it on track, or else. Because honestly, they lost to Mississippi State 42-24. Mississippi State's not ranked, and they are 4-1 now after that win. Um, Texas A&M was number 17 before this. Really, honestly, you could bump them down even farther than this. I've been very generous to only bump them down one. Really, you can put UCLA over them. You could put Kansas State over them. Heck, I could even say that you could put Kansas over them. You could really have them all the way down to number 21. Anywhere from 18 to 21, I'm comfortable putting them at. I think after they play this week in Alabama and they lose to them, I think they'll fall probably out of the polls here, because I don't think that you put they'll be 3-2. They'll be 3-3 then. I don't think you put a 3-3 team in the top 25 when you have other teams that has a better record than that, better wins. That's just my opinion, but I don't think that you do something like that. So I think this is Texas A&M's last week in the AP poll. They've had the top recruiting class, and it's looked so promising for them. And they came in top 10 team, and then they just kind of fluked. Mississippi State showed who the better team was today, and I think Alabama will absolutely torch them next week. But I could be wrong. But I don't think that they beat Alabama. No, not the way that they've been playing. The two losses they've had was pretty brutal losses. Yeah, I don't think that they'll. And then they got upset, so I don't think that they'll beating Alabama. I think this is their last week in the AP poll, but for this week I got them at number 18. Number 19, I got UCLA. They're 5-0. They're coming off of a good win, so I got them at number 19. Kansas State, I got them at number 20. We all know a week ago they beat Oklahoma, so that kind of got their name floating around. I think they were in the other receiving votes this last week in the AP poll, and now this week I've got them. And then obviously this week they came into the AP poll, I think at 25 is where they were before. Now I've got them at number 20. Kansas, that's one team that I came in. I dropped a few teams out. Florida State was one of them, and I brought Kansas in because I think Kansas. I obviously don't think that they could beat none of the top 10 teams or really anything like that. But they are 5-0. They've had some good wins. They've looked pretty good, so I've got them at number 21. Washington lost to an unranked team, so I got them coming down to number 22. It is their first loss of the season, but I've got them coming down at number 22. Mississippi State comes in the AP poll. They beat Texas A&M, which was number 17 at the time, and they're only 4-1, so I got them coming in at number 23. Syracuse, I've also got coming in the poll here. I got them coming in at number 24. They are 5-0. They were in the other receiving votes this last week, so I got them coming in at number 24. At number 25, I got Arkansas. They did lose to Alabama. They did put up a good fight there for a while. They were number 20, but I got them coming down ultimately to number 25 there. So that's my top 25 college football poll. I know, probably the top five, probably the top, I'd say 8 teams. I wouldn't really say there's anything to disagree with. The only thing that I could see someone disagreeing with on my poll is Clemson and Michigan. I think maybe some people might think that Michigan should stay at 4 and Clemson should stay at 5. That's fair if you think that. I can understand that. But like I said, just kind of from where I'm coming from, Clemson I think had a more impressive win over a ranked team. So that's the reason that I put Clemson above Michigan in this situation. I could see a lot of people disagreeing with the 15 through 25. Those are kind of controversial, but again, this is just my opinion on how I think it is, based off of what I saw in the games, based off of the scores and everything, and based off of which wins were more impressive than others. If you do disagree, let me know down in the comments. If you agree, let me know in the comments. But if you do disagree, I do ask that you just put why you disagree. Put why you think that team should be ranked higher or lower or not ranked at all, or why a team should be ranked and I don't have them in here. Just let me know down below and I'll take a look at it and let you know what I think on it. This has been your boy T and Smooth saying peace. Thank you for stopping by. Don't forget to leave a like and a comment and subscribe. Make sure you press that little bell icon too. It will notify you every time I upload. It's been your boy T and Smooth saying peace.